Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 10 of the podcast. Yes, it's been quite the season. IPL suspended midway, but we continued with the season, trying to talk about things that will matter, that continue to matter in and around the world of IPL. And in this one, we're talking about what could happen in 2022, which is the possibility of having 10 teams in the IPL. You're expanding the IPL, you're taking it to two more venues, two more franchises. It'll open up more possibilities in the IPL for the various stakeholders, not just the players and not just team owners. So it's going to be a lot of fun next year. And while there are counter reports of BCCI also not considering the 10 teams, it seems like they want to stick to their plans. And logically, if you think about it, Sandipan, BCCI will be in a place where they want to expand it. They want to make up for all that they've lost this year or could potentially lose this year, especially in terms of the brand value, the grandeur, and many more things. Because the money side of things, they will recover at some point when they do the remainder of the 2021 season in the time to come, right? Which, by the way, for which the dates are already set. So what do you think about that to start off with?
And first of all, I hope everything is all right at your end. Yes. So I guess at this, as of now, BCCI's first priority is to conclude this current edition of IPL, and we have already officially there has been no announcement, but unofficially there are reports in the media that it is starting on 19th September.
Yeah,
and it will in the UAE, and the final will take place on 10th October. So that is almost, and BCCI hasn't denied those reports. That means that is final. So we are having the first half, with the second half of the IPL will take place. The 31 matches will take place in the UAE. Now the question is, yes, next year there are talks of, first of all, there will be a mega auction. All the players will be up for grabs. Apart from that, the few players which franchises will retain. So I think probably 3 players per franchisee
will it be 2 plus 1 RTM, or 3 players can be retained?
I think 2 players on 1
plus 1 RTM. Okay.
So the question now is, BCCI is also willing to add 2 more franchises for the next edition.
Yeah.
So the question, they will probably, what are the, before this second wave of COVID happened, there are reports that we'll have they will call for a tender for the two cities probably early next year or at the end of this year. But now with the second wave and the IPL getting postponed in the middle of the tournament, so now they're in a bit of a mess. So first priority, probably they will try to organize this edition, complete this edition of the IPL. Then they will see what will happen. But in all probabilities, there will be 2 more franchises next season. So, and we have already seen 10 team IPL in the past, right? When we saw before. Gujarat Lions and Kochi Kerala Tuskers.
It always seems like the BCCI has endeavored to try and expand it. There is a lot of focus to try and take it beyond the current markets. That is something that the BCCI has looked to do. But at this point of time, despite the pandemic, despite everything that's happening, they're in the best possible place, right, Sandipan, compared to where the efforts were made in the past to expand it. This time, with all the prowess that they've achieved in the last few years, is it safe to say that the BCCI are in the best possible space to now take it beyond and make it bigger than ever?
From financial point of view, they want to make, they want to get back to normal. They have suffered a lot of losses this season, right? So they want to cover those losses in the coming seasons. So yes, and BCCI have always said that they want to globalize the IPL. They want to take the game to the United States. They want to take the game to the other parts of the world. Especially their target audience is United States, because that's an uncharted territory. There are no leagues there. There are a lot of excitement surrounding IPL over there because of the South Asian population. So and people over there have the financial capability also.
Exactly.
So US is probably their next big target. But at this point, obviously, BCCI wants to, expand this league. So 10 teams mean there will be more matches also, and more games for the broadcasters. And as we estimated that as per the current broadcasting rights, BCCI is getting paid around 54.5 crore per game.
Per game.
And so if we have 10 team IPL from the next season, and remember the broadcasting rights will be up for grabs after the 2022 season, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Exactly.
the value of that the rights will be much higher. So they paid, I think Star paid around 16,000 crore for 5 seasons. Seasons last time when we saw the auction.
16,000 plus change.
Yeah.
Some change.
Some change. 200 crore something. 200 crore something. Yeah, bus. Now I think it will be, if there will be like 10 teams and all. I think I am expecting the rights to go probably for minimum of 25,000 crore or something.
Oh, the mathematics calculators are out. Wow. No, it's not premature at all. I mean, people sitting might be thinking the calculations are on, but here's the thing. It's all about economics in this space of cricket, right? It's very important. You can't deny it. As much as you romanticize cricket, the economics of it is very, very important. And that is a big factor in why the BCCI is so keen to make part 2 of the IPL happen this year as well. And which is why they'll be keen to take 2022 edition also to the next level, Sandipan, and we can expect some big moves there, isn't it? Because there's a mega auction, like you said, 2 new teams, the rights up for grabs. It's going to be a big year, 2022 for
rights up for grabs after that. So Star has the rights till the 2022 edition.
Exactly, yeah. But the rights, as in the whole space of bidding and acquiring rights, will happen in the calendar year, right? It'll happen in 2022. Yeah. So from a calendar year perspective, 2022 is a big year for IPL.
Big year for Indian cricket also.
Big year for Indian cricket. Massive. Because that's where it is. Like, that's how the IPL is like a cornerstone. It's like a central figure in the whole economics of it, which is we spoke on the first episode of season 1. It's at the very core of it. All right. So Sandipan, like we spoke about earlier as well, while you're looking to expand, you're looking at venues, you're looking at 2 new franchises, right? Let's set out what is important when you're looking out for franchises. What's important when you're looking out for new centers? One, you want to cater to a wide strata of people, right? The franchises have to be in areas where there is tremendous interest locally, so that people can come to the stadium. That is one. Second is connectivity. You want people to come in, fly out seamlessly. Third is stadium. Fourth is hotels. You have this, then you have most things covered. So straight off the bat, let's take a look at the current zones at this point of time. How do you look at this? Because you look at north and south, there are teams packed in both places. East, central, and west is where we could see new teams.
Yeah, why not? I mean, one team probably will be from Ahmedabad because it matches all the criteria, plus the stadium,
which you fell in love with.
Yeah, it's and so I guess Ahmedabad is one team, though obviously it will be up for grab. They'll be bidding for, and company there. There will be bidders, but most probably it will be Ahmedabad. The other venue that which I think will probably happen. We have to look at those tier 2 cities. Maybe someone like Indore can be an ideal, because it's a center. There is a Holkar Stadium. It is a huge cricket loving area. That
Coliseum.
Massive. Yeah, and connectivity is really good.
Yeah.
Situated in the center of the city, is in the center of India.
Yeah.
So there are hotels. Everything is around. Yeah. There another city will be probably Lucknow, because Lucknow is a Ekana Stadium. It's beautiful. It's huge.
Massive.
And Lucknow, obviously, there's a lot of connectivity around. Their cricket interest. We know what Lucknow people are crazy for cricket over there.
Yeah.
So overall, I think cricket loving. I think the catchment area, this term it in the IPL, that whether they will get the players, whether they will get the franchise, connectivity issues, whether there are hotels or not, whether the city has a decent venue or not. And Lucknow fits all the, I think ticks all the tables. I ticks all the boxes.
Yeah.
So
So if
apart from Ahmedabad, I think either Indore or Lucknow probably will get it.
yeah, maybe I
The
think
another
that
city is
yeah.
Pune. Another city is Pune, but we have seen teams from Pune in the past. But again, वहाँ पर मुंबई का influence थोड़ा ज़्यादा रहता है.
I'm
Maharashtra वाले
telling you,
Mumbai
Pune
Indians.
folks will not like this at all. They're like always saying, yes, we have our different identity. Please don't relate us to Bombay. But the
No,
proximity
but
issue,
Mumbai Indians का fan base is huge, right?
हाँ,
So
उधर भी है. But anyway, let's break this down for our listeners, Sandipan, because you look at we obviously North and South Zone fans might think why not? But here's the thing. So you've got Punjab and Delhi in the north, and in the south you have Chennai, Hyderabad, and Bangalore. So it's packed there, right? You have enough. You have enough. And if you look at East, in East you only have Sandipan's favorite team. No prizes for guessing. And in the West, you have not my favorite team, as Sandipan keeps saying all the time, contrary to what he says, Mumbai Indians. Central, you have Rajasthan, right? If you count Rajasthan as central, which with
I
Jaipur. So which is why we believe that East, West, and Central are the areas that you need to sort of expand to, because वहाँ पे influence उतना ज़्यादा नहीं है. It's not as much.
of course. East. The other option which I can see, realistic option, is Ranchi. Apart
Ranchi is
from
a
that,
good
I don't
shout.
think.
Ranchi is a good shout.
Yeah, we have seen franchises in other sports like hockey and kabaddi, so from franchises coming up from Ranchi. But again, Ranchi, and there's a world class stadium over there as well.
World class
Uh,
captain and leader as well.
yeah,
King of Ranchi. But yeah. I mean, imagine, just think about it. In case, like, I'm going to break a lot of CSK hearts and get a lot of hate for this, but in case, right, mega auction next year, he's not retained. A scenario comes up where you see MS Dhoni owning a franchise from Ranchi. The businessman in
can
MS
happen.
Dhoni start. I don't know, but I think he's too big a figure, right? In Chennai, it's too much there. There's a lot of there to for
So,
that to happen.
the strongest case I can see will be presented by Indore and Lucknow.
We're talking about East, so we talk about
Oh, okay.
yeah. So Cuttack and Guwahati, two other venues, maybe not really.
I am not sure.
Yeah, yeah, probably because of not the stadiums not being as technologically advanced as co-op.
Maybe also the influence of Kolkata Knight Riders is a huge franchise here. The
That's true.
influence of
That's true.
Kolkata as a city also. I
But
guess.
here's the thing. Here's the thing. I'm going to say this. Yeah, I'm going to say this. So if Calcutta can have East Bengal and Mohun Bagan, then why not? Why not another franchisee?
I think from this I think IPL point of view, I think from
Is KKR too
people
big?
will look at from business point of view, right? So they
100%.
need that. Yeah, they need that area based sentiments associated with the teams.
Yeah, I mean, East Bengal and Mohun Bagan were founded on two completely fantastic different storylines, and they had various social implications, not just financial and economical implications. So,
but IPL is all about financial.
Hey, dil tod diya, romantics ka dil tod diya.
What about if we talk about West? What about Goa? There is a new stadium coming up.
You gave my heart just skipped a beat for 2 seconds. I'm not even kidding. Sitting in Goa recording this, as a Goan, nothing would make me more happier. But here's the thing. You can build a marketing case around it, right? The whole experience of coming to Goa and playing cricket here. That could be something where you could get fans also coming in, watch the cricket here, go back where event times are okay. Please get your RT-PCR test before coming or be vaccinated. Otherwise, don't come. But anyway, that's a very good shout. That's a very interesting shout. But maybe not for the immediate future. Maybe not.
Yes. Probably once this new stadium will come up.
Yeah.
I heard that there is a new stadium coming up on the outskirts of the city. So I guess But everything else is there, right? There's a world class airport over there. There are hotels,
Best
I
hotels,
mean, best hotels in the country,
connectivity.
and it can be a tourist destination as well.
Yeah,
So overall, it looks like Goa seems like a good package. And
fabulous.
I don't think there is much influence of Mumbai Indians in Goa. I
Not
mean, Mumbai
little bit.
Indians.
Little bit, but not as much. Not as much. I wouldn't say it's as
Hmm,
much. It's still Goa still is split, and it has uh people loving various franchises. Like their
yeah,
loyalties are
yeah,
split at this point of time. Like you would
and
imagine it
and
is
and
anywhere else as well. That does not have a
and
franchise.
in other sports, we have seen franchises from Goa, right?
Correct. Yeah, and fandom comes very quickly, and because
Uh,
at the end of the day, the state loves the sport.
I think
It's a
Goa
sport
is a bit
loving,
of an untapped market for IPL.
massively
So
untapped
Goa can
market. Yeah.
be here is a
Just that
business
it's
idea.
tiny. Just that it's tiny. That's the only thing. It's very tiny compared to other catchment areas.
No,
It's very tiny.
yeah, but if you can relate your franchisee name with Goa, I am sure you'll get support from. You'll get fans from all around the world. I mean,
Yeah.
Goa is
Yeah, yeah. I mean, if the Dempos and the Salgaonkars are listening, and if there is a venture capitalist listening, we can put it together. I can help you.
yeah.
Honestly, we can make something happen there. But
Uh,
anyway, Sandipan, thank you for giving me this khayali pulao. Let's get back to reality. You look at West. Ahmedabad is one that we said obvious option. Nagpur
yeah.
and Rajkot. What do you make of these two venues? They're also decent venues. Probably not as attractive, but good venues.
Ahmedabad, if we'll have a franchisee in Ahmedabad, then we don't. At least I can't see
No
another
chance.
franchisee from Rajkot.
Mm,
So
yeah,
Nagpur is a good shout.
Nagpur.
Vidarbha,
Yeah.
Nagpur is a good shout. Nagpur can be an option. Yes.
Mm,
In fact, in the past, we have seen bidding coming from Nagpur in the
yeah,
IPL of
yeah,
2026.
yeah. That's true. That's true. If we agree on West and Ahmedabad, then we move on to Central. This is the good one. Here is the good race, and I think Central is a good zone because again, like Sandipan said about Goa, I think Central is the more untapped market for me. Because you look at Lucknow, you have a population in crores. You look at MP's capital, which is Indore. Again, a lot of people there. Big stadiums. There's culture of cricket.
Fantastic cities. Both are
Oh,
fantastic cities.
amazing cities. Yeah, yeah,
I mean,
absolutely
cricket loving.
amazing.
I have seen some genuine cricket loving crowd in Indore and Lucknow. In fact, in
Site,
Indore,
yeah, yeah,
we have seen Ranji Trophy final, and their stadiums were packed. Right,
full.
so
Yeah, 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 yeah.
so
And we also have a sizable Lucknow population at cricketnews.com. So, yeah, people, cricket
yeah.
loving folks, absolutely. Shout out to the Lucknow boys. The dark horse for me, could it be the Tatas, and could they make Jamshedpur one of their places? Because I have heard they have the infrastructure there. It might not be as world class, but would the Tatas want to get into it? Because enterprising people, it's a company. Let's also remember this. You also need to have companies that have experience in running sports franchises, and Tatas have the experience. They've done it in the past in multiple spaces. These could Jamshedpur and Tatas be an option, or could the Tatas be an option with not being in Jamshedpur but in some other city?
Jamshedpur, I can't see it is happening
Yeah.
because I have been to the
Me too.
Jamshedpur. I
Me
mean,
too. It's very
sports
small.
complex. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. But
Uh,
it's all about Tata there, isn't it? Like it's everything is
uh,
about, yeah. But it's,
yeah. The entire sports complex
yeah,
is owned by
sweet
Tata,
city,
but
lovely city. But at the end of the
lovely
day,
city. Yeah,
tiny.
but
Yeah.
tiny. And if Tatas are interested, then probably they will make Ranchi at their home ground, not Kutch.
Yeah. Why not? Yeah, yeah, absolutely. But it's close also. Very close. Yeah.
And there are airport connectivity as well, because remember Jamshedpur, there the airport is very small and there are not
Yeah.
enough flights. Yeah, so
That's
that is
true.
another.
That's true. I went by road from Calcutta to Jamshedpur.
Yeah,
Yeah, it
okay.
was a crazy drive. But
But they have a football franchisee from there,
exactly,
and it's
Jamshedpur
doing
FC.
really well.
Very
Yeah, it's
well.
doing really well.
In fact, they had some of the highest footfall in terms of in-stadia attendance last ISL.
Yeah.
So,
Mm.
and at the end of the day, it's the Tatas. I mean, everybody loves the Tatas.
Mm.
So, very interesting. Okay, so if we leave out Jamshedpur, that leaves us with Indore and Lucknow. What's your pick between Indore and Lucknow?
At this point, I'll go with Lucknow. Great stadium. It's beautiful. The area is also in the close proximity to the city. The airport is
Close to the
world
airport.
class.
Yeah, just very close to the airport also. On
There are
just
hotels
yeah,
nearby,
yeah,
top 5-star hotels. Getting the stadium full during a game won't be an issue because Lucknow is a huge cricket loving city.
absolutely
Overall, I think, and the catchment area is also huge, right?
massive.
If there is a franchisee, because Uttar Pradesh is a huge state, then there are Uttarakhand, there's Bihar. So the catchment area, they say in IPL that you need to have a fan base from the surrounding areas as well. That
Mm,
area is quite big
mm,
for if the franchisee comes,
yeah,
represents Lucknow.
yeah,
So
yeah,
overall, I think Lucknow is a good choice,
yeah.
and the next best choice obviously is Indore.
I think if what I heard from the authorities at Indore as well, that they were in talks with Delhi Capitals a few years ago to host their matches there because Delhi were experiencing some issue like everybody
Hmm.
does in Firozshah
Hmm.
Kotla, but they were experiencing some issues there and they were in talks, but it just didn't go through.
Hmm.
But it's about time. I think it's in the offing, as they say, for IPL cricket to be played at Ekana.
We have seen Raipur also hosting a lot of
Jaipur as well.
IPL games, and it's a beautiful stadium over
The
there.
legends played there, right?
Yeah.
Just
Even
recently.
IPL, we have seen a lot of IPL matches
Oh
at
yeah,
Raipur.
oh yeah. That's true. That's true as well.
Yeah. The
So
another city is Vizag. The another
Vizag,
city is Vizag.
that comes under South. So you reckon another?
Yeah.
Yeah, Rohit Sharma would love it though. Would just go score. Mayank Agarwal would love
Uh,
it. Go and score
yeah.
triple hundreds there for fun.
But if we go look at Raipur's chances,
Mm,
it will also present a good case. Raipur, there is a airport. The city is world stadium is world class. It's a
mm,
new stadium outside, just outskirts on the
on the
outskirts of the
outskirts.
city.
Yeah,
Raipur, you can tap the entire central India if you have a franchisee from Raipur,
yeah.
and there is a regional pride factor over there. So
Mm, that's a good shout.
and yeah. So Raipur can be another option.
And that's very important to have people that can connect to the franchise. People who will come and say, yes, this is a franchise that
Mhm.
represents us. That's very
Yeah.
important. That's what has clicked for people like Chennai and Mumbai who've been able to connect with the fans. And that's an important
Mhm.
factor, isn't it? For any of these new franchisees that come in, how can they establish that immediate connect with the people and make them sort
You
of
need to pick local players. You need to have local players in their
big
side,
point?
and players from Chhattisgarh, Madhya Pradesh, even Uttar Pradesh. They are
Uttar
doing
Pradesh.
really well for other franchises in the IPL.
So Suresh Raina to
So
captain a team from Lucknow. Hey, just saying, guys. Nothing against
I
Chennai
mean,
here on the podcast. We're just dismantling Chennai, aren't we? On this episode, we spoke about MS going to Ranchi, Raina going to Lucknow. But at the end of the day, these guys are senior folks. They have to figure life for themselves out because it's a big auction, and things are about to change. But that takes us very nicely into our next segment because okay, Sandipan, let us first of all before we go into our next segment. So to finalize, Ahmedabad for sure, right?
mm,
And one
yeah,
between Indore and Lucknow. Is that what
Indore
we?
and Lucknow. Indore and Lucknow.
Which of these venues would you like to report on IPL from?
Both. I like both the venues. The city is good. Food is, great
Yeah, Abba
in
hai
both
na.
the cities.
The real point has come in now. The real point.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
food. I love the food of both Indore and Lucknow. So yeah,
yeah.
I don't
I
mind.
think you're inclined towards Lucknow a little bit more. Indore is slightly more
No,
vegetarian.
I like the Indore food as well. I like the Indore food.
Amazing, amazing. All right. Okay. On that note, let's move on to the next small section. To as we come towards the end of this episode, which is who are the players that will benefit. Now we two new franchises, of course, open auction, right? Which means 90%, 95% of your squad goes into the pool. You restructure and rebuild your teams, which means, you might see teams having a similar squad, you might not. But there are a lot of players that are sitting in these squads at this point, Sandipan, that
Mhm.
are not figuring, that are on the fringe, or
Mhm.
players that are not picked up in the auction altogether, but are decent players in the international scheme of things. Um, Who are these players according to you? Let's start. Let's do this. Let's start with captains. So we've said Ahmedabad is one venue, and then let's say Lucknow or Indore, one of them is the other venue. Who are the two players that you think will captain these teams, possibly from the current?
I mean, it is very hard to predict, because a
Come
lot
on.
of, I think one of the teams will be led by a foreign superstar. So that is for sure. Indian, because all the Indian captains are already there. I mean, I don't think Virat Kohli will be released, or Rohit Sharma will be released, or probably any other KL Rahul will be. I don't know. I mean,
David Warner.
so that can be a good sound.
Yeah.
David Warner
Warner's done with
representing
Hyderabad. Goes on to a new franchise, defeats Hyderabad in the final. What a story! Oh,
Yeah.
What a story!
I mean, David Warner, yes. David Warner can be another option. Steve Smith can be an option.
Oh, Smith's an option. Yeah.
Steve
Joe
Smith can be
Root.
an option. Not.
No T20.
He's not.
Not
His
a lot of
place in a
T20 cricket, but
T20s
good player.
Yeah, his place in a T20 side is not secure. So that's one issue.
That's true.
Hmm.
That's true. The other player, who do you reckon?
Amongst the Indian, do you find any Indian option?
Suresh Raina,
Suresh Raina. But yeah, I think Suresh Raina is another
big option, right?
option. Yeah.
Or what about Ajinkya Rahane? Might
I
move
don't
on.
think. I mean, he might move on, but he won't be a captain, because his place in a 11 is not secure for someone like Rahane.
Yeah.
In a T20 side, I'm talking about.
Yeah. 100%. What are the other players? If you ask me, then there are certain players that have been doing well for a franchise, that have been in their plans but now have moved on, or not moved on, but rather have been sidelined a bit. You talk of the likes of Kuldeep Yadav, Lockie Ferguson, Chris Lynn, Shreyas Gopal, Sandeep Lamichhane. There are so many players. Jason Roy, so many players, right? That are just sidelined. And here's the thing. This is why we are talking about this, because Sandipan, if you remember, I think, in my opinion, franchises in the last 2-3 years have made a certain amount of progress, and they are keen to maintain course. They don't want to change too much. So they try to maintain their squad as much as possible, teams that are doing well, while some teams will try to change it around. So, which is why we can assume that some teams will remain the same and the fringe players will move on to other franchises.
Yeah.
So when you keep that in mind, who are the players according to you that could sort of benefit a lot that with two new teams?
First of all, the local players. If a franchisee comes out from Lucknow, then the local players, for example, the players who represent Uttar Pradesh, the local players who represent other, Uttarakhand, or all these players will, junior players will be benefited,
Gujarat
because
and
they'll be
Saurashtra.
a lot of. I mean, you can take players from the entire country. So first of all, the local players, and of course the foreigners who are not getting enough chances in the other team, on any other franchises. There may be new players who will come out at the international arena. There will be, every year we see new player coming up at the international arena. So those players,
100%.
I think it will mostly benefit the players who are probably not in the primary scheme of things of the other franchises.
Exactly.
Classic example is Mohammad Nabi.
Oh, we're rooting for that guy to do well. It's been so long, and he's good. Like, people have forgotten that he's good.
He is a captain material as well. Remember?
Yeah, I mean,
why not? In any other franchise apart from Hyderabad is certain.
I mean, not sure about captain when you ask me, but I think he can be a very important player in any franchise. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. He's got tons of experience.
Gautam Gambhir once said that if he was there in any other franchises in Hyderabad, he would have played 14 games in each season.
Wow, very rightly said. Couple of other names that I have. I think Lamichhane could really see a new.
Lamichhane will get
really benefit, right? He's so good.
Yeah.
Jason Roy,
someone like Kuldeep also might. If KKR releases Kuldeep, then
Mitch Santner. Mitch Santner is such a good player, man. He's
Yeah,
so good.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, Shreyas Gopal maybe sitting out lately. The whole Rajasthan stint has worked, but now last few years just tailing off a bit. New colors, because we all know how good Shreyas Gopal is. He's a
Yeah, yeah.
great operator. It's very good. His numbers are fabulous. So there are players that could really benefit right from two new teams. Yeah, absolutely amazing. However, Sandipan, this is the big one. So this year and last year, we saw a lot of one generation of cricketers moving on, right? You saw Watson retiring. You're seeing a lot of players moving towards that line. Obviously, the big elephant in the room is Mahendra Singh Dhoni. Um,
Mm.
yeah, and there are a couple of others. There's Faf du Plessis. There are a number of names there. There are a few names there that are moving towards the other side of the 35. Who do you think, right? Who do you think um, has it in them to move forward and play a few more seasons? And who do you think might sort of move on? And this could
MS
be the
Dhoni will
last time.
definitely play at least one season. MS Dhoni will definitely play at least one more season. Faf du Plessis will play. He will
Yeah.
definitely play. Who else do you think?
You reckon?
Suresh Raina will play one more season, one or two more seasons because he's only playing IPL.
And he's not that
Uh,
old as well. He's 34.
uh,
People
yeah,
forget.
yeah, yeah.
He's
Yeah.
not that old. Yeah.
Yes.
So interesting. So you're saying, so the big burning question, right? I'm going to cut this and put this up on social. Mahendra Singh Dhoni, Chennai Super Kings retain my MS Dhoni. They use
Yes,
one
they will.
slot to retain.
They will. They will.
I mean, from a emotional, from a macro standpoint, yes, MS is equal to CSK, CSK is equal to MS. From a strategic perspective, one slot, right? There's one slot gone there. Do you
But
think it makes sense?
they will definitely return.
Do you think it
For
makes sense?
sure.
That's the question. They will do it. We know
From a
that they will
larger
do it
point of view, it does make.
because you want to facilitate the transition, things of that nature.
Yeah, yeah.
And who are the others that? So MS is one. Who's the other that gets retained, and who's the RTM according to you?
Along with MS, Jadeja will be retained, of course.
Jaddu gets retained, and the right to match for
Probably for half the place
sorry, sir,
or
Faf.
Moeen Ali.
Okay, interesting. So no Deepak Chahar for you.
They will probably
Get him in the
purchased.
auction, buy
Yeah,
him in the auction. Yeah,
buy him.
100%. You look at
CSK. That is the good thing about CSK, right? They like to
Yeah.
back their players. I mean,
yeah.
till to the end, they can spend the extra amount of money to get their players who are well aware of their functioning, right? So that is one good thing about CSK.
The other one. So we were talking about players that are towards the twilight
So
of
we
their
might
careers.
see CSK letting go Suresh Raina.
Yeah, that could happen. That most likely, like, should we put our necks out there and say most likely to happen? Most likely.
Could. I think most likely is not the right term. I think they
Could.
I mean, of course, if you have to choose between Raina and Jadeja, obviously you will choose Jadeja, right?
At this point, yes. At this point.
Yeah,
And Jadeja is far superior a player at this point of time. Interesting. The other, Sandipan, the other giant, there are two giants that we have to talk about. Christopher Henry Gale and AB de Villiers. Do Punjab and Bangalore retain them?
Bangalore, of course, they will.
Yeah, sorry for asking.
As long as Virat Kohli is there, they will retain it.
Absolutely.
Gale, I think he will be retained. Well, because Punjab के पास और है ही क्या retain करने के लिए?
Well, you go into a fresh auction. So you go into a fresh auction. There are chances to get talent from outside, but at what is he? He's how old is Christopher Henry Gale? He's what, approaching 40, above 40. I'm not sure, but whatever age he is, right? He's still doing the job. There are no two ways about it. He's doing the job.
You have to look at from marketing point of view as well. He's the face. He's their face of marketing.
41 years old.
He along with KL Rahul.
Would you want to look at the future, or do you want to have the comfort of someone like Chris
They will
Gayle?
probably not retain him, but they might
Buy
use
him.
RTM on. By
or
him
buy
or
him,
RTM.
or who,
Yeah, yeah,
or just go out and buy him, right? Because
yeah, yeah.
how
They
many
can.
teams would want, with no disrespect to the universe boss, we
Yeah,
love
yeah,
you,
yeah.
but how many teams would actually go out there and bid and go
Because you
aggressively
have,
and risk
if
it
you retain a
at this
player,
age? Mm,
you have to spend a significant amount of money, right? So they want to
exactly.
save that money and probably buy him in the auction. So I think they what Punjab will do, they will probably retain KL Rahul
Yeah.
and maybe Mayank Agarwal.
Oh, they have to retain Mayank Agarwal. Absolutely. And then the RTM for one of the young guys, probably.
Yeah, I'll probably go for. I mean, I'll probably go for the leg spinner. I mean,
Hmm. Interesting. Yeah, he's good. Ravi Bishnoi. Uh,
Ravi Bishnoi. Yes,
not
Ravi
bad at all.
Bishnoi. I'll probably pick. Yeah.
Who are the other old war horses? Delhi don't have that problem. They all have young folks. Maybe Shikhar Dhawan. Shikhar Dhawan's got a lot of cricket in him. He's got tons of
Yeah,
cricket in
so
him left.
Delhi, we know who will retain. Pant
Yeah,
will be retained.
yeah,
Dhawan will be retained, and
yeah.
probably they will use
RTM
the
for
RTM
Prithvi.
on either Prithvi Rawada. I think
Rapada?
Prithvi.
Yeah, Rapada. Why not? You interesting. That's an interesting call. But yeah, I mean, to at the end of the day, the whole point of this conversation is that 2022 is going to be a change of seasons, as you'd like to, if you'd like to say that, in terms of how the IPL is going to be conducted. There's going to be a lot of changes. The BCCI would be keen to conduct it in India in a safe manner. There's going to be, of course, like we said, the big auction, new players coming in, new teams possibly most likely to come in. So a lot of changes, a lot of things might happen, and it could see a lot of new faces figuring for teams, and a lot of the old faces could possibly head out. Um, yes. All right. That's all the time we have on this episode of the podcast. Sandipan, before we wrap up, any words of wisdom for our listeners ahead of second half of 2021 and everything that's set to come? A lot of cricket to come. We're going to be around, right? We're going to be around. We're going to be
Yeah.
talking about a lot of the cricket that we like. We like a lot of test cricket for people that don't follow us. If you don't follow us, what the hell are you doing? Please follow us. But yeah, we love test cricket, and there's a lot of test cricket to come. So it's going to be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, first of all, I think yes, Test cricket. The season is starting from the next week, I guess.
Yeah.
And
It's here.
Yeah,
Wow.
England, New Zealand, then the
Yeah.
World Test Championship final,
Yeah.
then the 5 Test matches. So I guess
Yeah.
8 Test matches back to back we are
Yeah.
having.
Yeah.
That's great. And the IPL and the World T20. So there is a packed schedule at this point.
Yeah.
I hope that now cricket can be a medium through which our country can, go
Absolutely.
back on the right track.
100%.
We have seen a lot of negativity. We don't want any more negativity in
That's
our
it.
lives.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%.
And cricket can be the medium through which
It's quite
at least
possible.
people have,
Yeah.
people can get at least something to cheer
Yeah,
about.
100%. And when the IPL was on, we had that little bit of something in the evening, something that we could watch. Unfortunately, the cases went up, the bubble was compromised, and once that happened, we knew that it's not going to go ahead. And
Yeah.
BCCI did the right thing. They took onus, they took
Mhm.
responsibility, they got the players home in a safe manner, which was very important to ensure that we protect the brand, that we protect the identity of the country as well. Very important.
Yeah.
And that was done well. But now, of course, there's ton of endeavor to have the remainder of the IPL in the time to come, which is going to be exciting as well. Again, back to the UAE, 3 venues, a lot of sixes in Sharjah, some interesting wickets in Dubai and Abu Dhabi. We'll be back to talk about all of that. But before we do that, before we return for season 4, which will be a Test cricket special, we have a bonus episode coming up for you next Friday. Yes, that's correct. We've got I think I should reveal it. Yeah, we've got the Binnies in the house. Yes, Mayanti Langa
Wow.
Binny and Stuart Binny are going to be joining me next Friday. It's going to be a whole lot of fun. We're going to be talking about their lives and, of course, the wonderful turn it has taken in the last year or so with the birth of their child, how it's been like, cricket as an as a key role in their lives. So there's a lot happening, and that's going to be a conversation that I'm looking forward to. Sandipan, hope you'll be listening in as well, and I hope others will be
Definitely, I
listening in
will. I
as
will.
well.
I'm excited. I'm excited actually.
I'm glad. I'm glad. So am I. So it's going to be a lot of fun, and
Yeah.
it's obviously our endeavor at Cricket News to bring you um, some good analysis, some good conversation, like we did during these hard times. So we hope through this podcast and through this season that we continued, that we did not stop while the IPL stopped. We got you a little bit of value. We got you a little bit of hope, and we gave you something to smile about, right, Sandipan, in these
Yeah.
tough times. That's what we hope.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. And thank you so much, Sandy, for being on the podcast. As always, great contributor. You bring a lot of passion and a lot of tashan to this podcast, which I am very grateful for. Uh, let's stay at it. Let's stay at it.
Yeah.
All
Thank
right.
you. Thank you, Sumedh. Stay safe. And to all our listeners, just stay safe, stay at home.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just please make sure you.
Just hang in there. Just hang in there.
Absolutely.
It's a
Like,
tough spell. It's one
yeah.
of those early morning spells when we have to give the bowlers, give the first session to the bowlers, as Sunil Gavaskar once said.
Oh,
Give the first session to the bowlers, the next two will be yours.
100%, 100%. Small cricket philosophy there to brighten your day up. So yeah, 100%. Give the first session to the predicament out there. Stay indoors. Please try and get vaccinated as early as you can once it's available for you, and wait for the storm to pass. We're sure it will. We'll see you soon. I will see you next week. Sandipan will see you in a couple of weeks,
Yeah.
and we'll bring you season 4 of the podcast. You stay safe, take care, subscribe to the podcast, and share. This is a Hubhopper original.